I have a normal amount of time in Metal Gear Rising, and when you spend this much time in a 7-hour game, you start to use your brain a little and think. Now, this game is full of well-written and thought-provoking characters, but of those characters, the one I want to talk about today is Monsoon, as well as his relationship to meme theory. To be honest, I don't have much to preamble on about, so let's just get into it. Monsoon, real name unknown, was born in Cambodia during an also unknown time. During his childhood, the Khmer Rouge, a national communist political party led by dictator Pol Pot, say that 5 times fast, took control of the country, gaining the support of the average citizen following a series of carpet bombings from the United States during the Vietnam War. Monsoon would experience firsthand the horrors of the Khmer Rouge, as, when he was still a child, he bore witness to the killing fields of Phnom Penh. This real-world event saw over 1.3 million men, women, and children killed for being suspected enemies of the regime. After being exposed to these horrors, Monsoon began to adopt the nihilistic mindset of kill or be killed, justifying that it is the natural order for those with power to prey on those without. Some period of time after this, Monsoon would join a Cambodian mob, where he would build a reputation for the ruthlessness he displayed to his enemies, as well as his affinity for the use of science. Eventually, he would be caught in a gang shootout, causing him to undergo cybernetic alteration, creating the look we see in-game. It was also at this point in which Monsoon joined Desperado Enforcement LLC, believing it to be safer than a decentralized gang. And side note, he was very much dead wrong about that. Why did he do that? Is he stupid? Anyways, working for Desperado, he would be given the codename of Monsoon, in reference to both the seasonal winds that strike much of Southeast Asia, as well as his new unit, the Winds of Destruction. In addition, this unit was most likely assigned to him as he shared similar, should we say Darwinistic, worldviews to the fellow members. 9/11! In his tenure, he would be active in several international incidents and most notably oversaw the recruitment of Samuel Rodriguez with Senator Armstrong. Eventually, in the far-off year of 2018, Monsoon would meet Mr. Lightning Bolt, Raiden, and kickstart events we see in-game. The best type of antagonist is the one which mirrors the protagonist, meaning the faults that the protagonist has should be reflected and exemplified in the antagonist, in turn creating an antagonist who ultimately serves as a warning to what the protagonist might become. This type of antagonist, the mirror antagonist, is exactly what Monsoon is. Besides the obvious similarities of being cybernetic and having silver hair, both Raiden and Monsoon were exposed to war as children, and now find their current lives full of violence. But where Raiden is trying to walk away from this path, Monsoon fully accepts it. This, of course, ties back to how each of them responded to violence that they were shown to at a young age. After being exposed to genocide, Monsoon immediately and unquestionably accepted it. On the other hand, Raiden would refuse to acknowledge the atrocities he witnessed each day as a child soldier, instead opting to march forward. For Raiden, it would take the events of MGS2 to remember what happened, as well as the support from Rose, Snake, and Otacon to accept it. This support group being a luxury Monsoon never had. By that train of thought, if MGS2 is about Raiden accepting his past, MGR is about him fully embracing it, which can best be seen through Monsoon. Now, every boss can be seen as a mirror to Raiden, but what makes Monsoon special is the anchor point that he serves in Raiden's story. If we were to go off the traditional depiction of the hero's journey, the chapter in which Monsoon appears in is firmly Raiden's abyssal point, with him realizing that he has been unabashedly slaughtering those he claims to protect. So then, that would make Monsoon's boss fight the point of transformation for Raiden. Monsoon, before his fight, taunts Raiden, pointing out his hypocrisy and revealing him to not be a virtuous protector of the weak, and instead suggesting that he is a fellow heartless killer. Hearing this, in combination with everything else he just went through, Raiden fully embraces his Jack the Ripper persona and engages with Monsoon in combat. In this moment, we, by all definitions, see Raiden transform into a different person than the one he was at the start of the game. He gives up on his quest for justice, albeit temporarily, and instead indulges the worst parts of himself. But what this moment teaches Raiden is that just because the side of him was born from horrible circumstances, it doesn't mean that it can't be used for good. We can see Raiden do exactly that in this boss fight, as through the use of permanent Ripper mode, he is able to kill Monsoon, which I think we can all agree is a net gain for society. I mean, he's a war criminal, and last time I checked that was pretty bad, but I don't know. And as a brief overlay, the next chapter sees Raiden come to understand what Monsoon said isn't 100% accurate. He is neither a virtuous protector, nor a heartless killer. Rather, he's a man with faults, doing his best to help the world, which is best illustrated in depth with his encounter with Sundowner. If you wanted to put it into our diagram from before, then it would be right here, in between transformation and atonement. I could talk about narrative importance all day, sure, but what really interests me about Monsoon is his relation to meme theory. And look, we're all gonna be mature when I say memes here, okay? The origin of the word meme has a different connotation than what it means today. It was first coined in a book published by biologist Richard Dawkins called The Selfish Gene. In this book, the concept of a meme is compared to that of a gene. A gene's DNA passed down from parent to child that dictates all sorts of things about an organism's life, such as physical appearance and likelihood of illness. However, what it doesn't dictate is intangible matter. For humans, this presents as a multitude of things, such as religious views, sense of morality, and what is found funny. In his book, Dawkins suggests that this intangible matter can be classified as memes. Both genes and memes spread themselves through survival of the fittest. However, they differ in that genes can only be passed from parent to child, whereas memes can be passed between any individuals at any time. To relate it to the use of memes in today's world, take for example something like those JD Vance edits from a while back. Look, I got a point with this, just bear with me. This meme started with Representative Mike Collins posting a picture of a digitally enhanced photo of Vice President JD Vance. From here we can see survival of the fittest, or in this case survival of the funniest, take place. People began editing that picture in all sorts of ways to make him look funny. These edits were shared, and the funniest ones received edits of their own, in turn creating a cycle. Much like how genes mix with other genes to create stronger genes, this meme mixed with other memes to create funnier memes. This can be seen in Lord of the Ring edits, Baby edits, and Jared Leto edits. All this for the meme to spread itself, much like a gene. This meme would end up becoming fit enough for JD Vance himself to dress up as it for Halloween, showing the power of the so-called selfish gene. And, like with all memes, this meme eventually died out. People began to grow tired of it, no longer finding amusing ways to alter it, meaning it was no longer fit enough to survive in its ecosystem, or in this case, the internet. After this, other memes such as Hassan Piker's dog and the 6'7" kid would fill its niche, continuing the cycle. So, we can define memes as anything that undergoes natural selection without actually being alive. In the case of the Metal Gear series, memes are often used in reference to beliefs that are passed on from person to person. For example, in MGS2, Snake spreads his memes to Raiden by suggesting that he should think and act for himself. This eventually results in Raiden's rejection of the Patriots, as well as symbolically, the player's control at the end of the game. In addition, we see Snake inherit this belief from Kazuhira Miller, who developed it in his falling out with Big Boss. Furthermore, we see Raiden spreading this belief to Blade Wolf by giving him a new body. To get back on track, Monsoon is aware of how memes work in this context and has given up to them completely. In MGS1, Liquid believes that his genes, which he has no control over, have cursed him, destining him for failure. Similarly, Monsoon believes that since he has no control over which memes he has been exposed to, he has no true self. This is explained in his theme song, which contains the line, "Wash away the anger, all the stains of time, but there's no memory, it's only dry inside." This line is Monsoon stating that if someone were to strip him of all of his life experiences to wash away the stains of time, there would be no Monsoon to speak of, which somewhat depressingly is true for all of us. Who would you be if you suddenly lost all your memories? In MGS1, Psycho Mantis hated humanity as he saw every human being as being disgustingly obsessed with spreading their own genes. Monsoon believes the same exact thing, except we just replaced the word genes with memes. This relates back to Monsoon's nihilistic worldviews, as he believes that the strong prey on the weak, not because they are inherently evil, but rather that's what he believes memes dictate must happen. So when he sees Raiden try to break away from this mold and attempt to protect the weak, he feels compelled to step in and call him out. The most important thing about memes, and the biggest thing that Monsoon gets wrong, is that once you're aware of your own memes, you can choose which to spread. Monsoon thinks that everyone is a slave to their memes, but what he misses is that people can decide which memes they carry. For example, when you see that funny JD Vance edit, you can choose whether you like it, repost it, save it, or ignore it. And on a more serious level, if you recognize a bad habit that you do which you picked up from your parents or friends, you have the free will to change it. Being aware of your own memes doesn't make you a pawn to them, it gives you the power to change them. Monsoon believes that if you remove someone's memes, there's nothing at their core. But he's wrong. It is the memes that you choose to carry which reveal who you really are. In the end, this is why Raiden is able to defeat Monsoon. Raiden has gone through this lesson before and has come out the other end stronger. Raiden in this game chooses to spread Snake's legacy, his memes, not because he's forced to, but rather because he sees Snake's ideals as worth fighting for. Compare that to Monsoon's complete lack of conviction, and it's no wonder that Raiden comes out on top. Well, there's that video done. Ironically enough, in some sense this video can be seen as me passing down my own memes. My memories of Metal Gear, sense of humor, and personal viewpoints are all on full display here. And, of course, that's all being given to you, the viewer, to freely interpret however you please. Which, in my opinion, is kinda cool. But, with that being said, thank you for making it this far, and remember, stay motivated.
Memes, the DNA of the soul.